When I started building my fantasy world 12 years ago, I didn't really put much thought into most of the races. Tumiun was basically just a playground for me and my friends to play D&D in. That meant boringly beautiful elves and classically cavernous dwarves. Last year, I reimagined my elves, creating the living, breathing bonsai trees called the Ayuo. And now I've set out to do the same with my mountain dwellers. I wanted to make them weirder and add a bit more depth to them, staying close to the vibe I established with the Ayuo to keep the world of Tumiun consistent, and allow for cool dynamics between the two cultures. What I ended up with was a spectrum of dwarves. The deeper you look, the stranger they become, from the relatively familiar delvers to the almost alien-looking Moldbeards. My main inspirations were the sadhus, the holy people of Hindu and Jain religions, and somewhat unintentionally the fungal designs of the infected from The Last of Us. But enough talk, let's dive into the lore. In an age long bygone, the primordial people of Finikfil lost the sacred sun. The storm eternal that ravages much of the continent had grown too strong in those times, forcing them ever deeper underground. They took refuge in the winding caves, living off bats, strange mushrooms, and deep water. But in the depths they lost their way back to the surface. Yearning to see light and beauty again, they sang powerful songs of the beauty of the world above, and as they poured their memories into their songs, the cold earth listened. Warm lights greeted them, gemstones reflecting the colors of the sun and the sky, the flowers and the trees. Guided by these new lights, they searched desperately for a way out. It is the belief of most peoples in Tumiun that the soul must be allowed to travel through the gate of the sun after death. Usually this is done by burning the body to release the essence inside, letting it fly free upon the wind to find its way home. But down in their deep prison, the first generation of the deep folk began to grow old, fearing their souls would be trapped in the earth forever. Thus began a tradition practiced to this day. Before death, they poured their entire soul and all their memories into precious gems, sculpting the first tharlim, or endstones. If you want to learn more about my art and memory-based magic system, check out last month's video. Once their entire essence had been safely stored inside the gem, they could die in peace. Their children placed these stones in the highest chambers, closest to the surface, hoping that one day they could be broken in the sunlight to let the wind carry the souls home. But eons passed, the tharlim piled up and memories of the sun faded into myth. Through generations, the few who survived slowly adapted, drifting farther and farther from what they once were. Their skin and hair lost their color, their eyes and ears became far more sensitive. And as the scarcity of food and water grew, the people got smaller. Only the littlest could slip through the tightest cracks to find their way to new chambers, and survive off such meager meals. Yet some never gave up trying to dig their way out, earning them the name Knagar, Delvers. They worked tirelessly to widen the narrow cracks the bats came in through, but the stone was fickle, their tools blunt, and cave-ins claimed too many lives. In the end, it wasn't their hard work that saved them. It was Uzdu, lord of the stone giants. Sensing the trapped souls, the father of the titans dug deep pits to reach them, simultaneously forming mountains of rubble that would later come to house the Magruza, the found folk. Uzdu saw the beauty within the Tharlim and their longing for freedom. He carried them far north into the storm eternal, breaking the stones to let the wild wind take the souls sunward. Every autumn the titans returned to collect new Tharlim, until one day, the stone giants tragically vanished, and the end stones began to pile up once again. But not all deep folk were interested in seeing the sun again. Some felt a stronger calling in the depths. But before we dive into the lore of the Moldbeards, I want to take a quick minute to thank the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. For those of you who've never heard of Skillshare, it's an online learning platform with classes taught by real experts and professionals. I actually use it myself, and I couldn't recommend it enough. I've already completed a whole bunch of classes on subjects like landscape art, character design, video editing, color grading, and even running a YouTube channel. Most recently, I took Marco Bucci's class, the Color Survival Guide, which completely changed how I approach my illustrations. I've been a huge fan of his art for years, and Skillshare finally allowed me to fully understand his process and mastery of light and color. As you can see, I tried my hand at applying his lessons to the artworks you see throughout this video. But Marco is just one of countless amazing world-class creatives sharing their secrets there. I guarantee you there's something for everyone. And if you've got any creative friends, Skillshare makes a great gift this holiday season. So join today and grab a few gift cards while you're there. The first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan the QR code will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Get started today. Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Now let's see what happened to the deep folk who chose to stay in the depths. In the abyss, surrounded by the cold, quiet darkness, their dreams were their only solace. Their waking life was a dull existence, but as they slept they saw light, colors and shapes unlike any they had ever beheld. They dreamt of a world far below, a world full of life and strange beauty, and a voice beckoning them yonder. Slowly they began to lose their sense of reality, thinking the waking darkness to be a sort of sleep, a time to merely pass, while viewing their dreams as their true lives. And so they wandered, ever deeper, dazed and alone in a maze of stone. In time they found the one who had called to them, Abazi, the Mold Mother, the source of all spores, the ruler of the underbelly of the earth, believed to be the very incarnation of dreams. At last they beheld the light and beauty of their visions with their waking eyes, finding their purpose again. The deep folk befriended her and bonded with her, wearing her children upon their hair and beards as tokens of gratitude. Thus they became the Chobaba, the Moldbeards. Their relationship is symbiotic. In the deep, the Moldbeards found rare strains of fungi with features essential to their survival. Some gave them light, others provided sustenance. Some were used medicinally, either to fight off disease or to widen the mind, allowing the waking body to walk in dreams. Others have a more specific purpose, such as the gold breath strain you will find in the nostrils of some of the deeper Moldbeards. It filters toxic ammonia out of the stagnant air. Without it, they would not be able to breathe inside their vast bed chambers, where they house the winged creatures for their meat and valuable droppings. In time, the bats became more than just a resource. They became guides, friends even. The smaller bats taught them ways of seeing the dark world through echoes and sound. As a result, the Moldbeard language contains clicking sounds, unlike the language of the Delvers. The larger bats, who migrate down into the warm caves every winter, became almost as holy to them as the molds. They feed off sweet fruit-like sap shrooms that grow near deep hot springs, and in time the Moldbeards domesticated them. The rare few bats born with mutations similar to the Moldbeards were seen as sacred, kept as pets or regarded as symbols of hope. The others are bred like cattle, their droppings used as fuel, and more importantly as the main ingredient in the substrate used to spread the growth of the Mold Mother. They smear a paste of the guano mixed with ash and other substances into their beards and hair, infused with the necessary spores. And yes, they even put it up their noses. The gold breath condenses the ammonia from the air into salty crystals. The Moldbeards pick these from their noses and work them into their infamously divisive black tack, a licorice-like delicacy that tickles the soul in strange ways. But the most essential mold strain is undoubtedly the stone biter. It gnaws on rock, slowly carving new tunnels for housing and bed chambers. Throughout the ages, the Moldbeards learned to sing and dance their memories into the stone biter, persuading it to carve specific shapes. Memories of figures became statues, memories of tunnels became new paths. Eventually, those living in the deep realized that when they slept on their beds of mold, they would find new shapes and growths in the rocks and fungi around them, mimicking the things they had dreamt of. The Mold Mother was watching their dreams, blooming or carving them into being. Before long, they found a way to take their creations to the next level, fueling their fungal art with the memories of dreams and finally learning to speak the Mold Mother's true language. The Moldbeards believe that we possess not one, but two soul pools within us, one in the waking world and one in the dream world. Owing to their long time in the dark, where sleep felt more real than wakefulness, their two pools are mingled. To wander the realms of the Moldbeards is to walk in dreams, or nightmares. Impossible shapes seem to shift around you as the very ground you walk on suddenly becomes the ceiling. A straight tunnel somehow leads you back to where you started, and far ahead you see the light of your own torch flickering faintly. In the depths, the surreal becomes the real, and simply wandering there has driven countless surface dwellers mad. Miles below the snowy peak of Magruzalim lies the Deep Sun Hall, a true work so legendary that it has drawn visitors from all over Tumiun. It was created by Khuza the Sleep Singer, who, like most Moldbeards, had never actually seen the surface. But legendary tales took root in her subconscious, and her dreams showed visions of trees and sunlight, distorted ideas of what they might look like. A sky of blue glowcaps hangs above a floor of green mushrooms that sway like grass. Strange trunks of stone are covered in bark like lichen, lit by a light that has no source save for the dreams infused into the air of the room itself. Even though the hall isn't that large, countless people have gone missing there, lost in a haze of dreams. But to create her life's work, Khuza did more than just remember her dreams. She mastered them. She was one of the first dream walkers. Their mind seems to be sleeping, their eyes roll back, but their body sings, dances, or sculpts incomprehensible memories into being in real time. Many see this strange trance as the ultimate connection to Abazi, allowing her to take over. Some even go through life in a constant dream walk, their waking soul becoming no more than an afterthought. Down in the crushing dark, where the air is thick and yellow with heavy spore dust, only the most devout followers of the Mold Mother dwell. These are the Deepsleepers. They don't just cover their hair and beards in mold, they almost become it. You will find them meditating on fungal beds, tapping into the endless dreams of Abazi, allowing her mold to slowly consume them while they still draw breath. Their skin hardens into a bark-like husk, and the gold breath grows deep into their lungs as they become part of the deep. They act as living nodes in Abazi's mycelial network, connected to every other spore in the depths. They are the oracles of the abyss, conduits between the deep and the people that dwell therein. A Moldbeard might encounter them in a dream, watching from afar, a visitor who doesn't quite seem to belong there. These devout ascetics have become almost holy figures. A visit from them while you sleep is seen as a blessing, a good omen, though some believe there's a far darker side to them as well. In the deep they sing strange songs in tongues unknown, shaping puzzling halls and impossible tunnels inspired by the dreams of those who dwell above. A Moldbeard might venture into the abyss and find there a statue of his long-gone mother of whom he still dreams, or a cavern shaped from his recurring nightmares. When a deep sleeper reaches the end of their life, their body simply remains in place. The connection is complete. They become statues of flesh and spore, fused perfectly with the cavern floor. In the deepest tunnels of the deep realm, you will find rows upon rows of these silent, petrified figures lining the walls, their bodies gone, but their dream souls trapped forever in the weave of the Mold Mother. While almost all Moldbeards still capture their waking souls in Atharlim when the end of their life draws near, the Deep Sleepers don't. They do not see the worth of waking memories. They are free from that burden. Their dream soul becomes the only soul they know. But after death, all Moldbeards equally long for their bodies to join the welcoming arms of the deep, allowing the dream soul within to join with the Mold Mother as she slowly consumes their bodies. And so they become part of her world-spanning weave, living on eternally in the dreams of others. And that's it for now. As always, I've got so many more things I wanted to tell you in this video, but I just didn't have the time for, such as the places shaped by nightmares, for instance, or the fungal warriors protecting their realm from the purple blood deep spawn that enter the caves of the Moldbeards via the deep weave, the world-spanning labyrinth of monster-infested tunnels created by one of the first terrors. I'll definitely make more videos about the deep folk in the future, but I just wanted to finally introduce them to you all. And now I'd love to hear some of your thoughts and opinions on their lore and their design. What did you think of them? Any cool ideas I could add to them, or maybe some things you don't like? Let me know in the comments. And if you have a version of dwarves in your world, I'd love to hear all about them. Are they very similar to the classical bearded mountain dwellers, or are they more unique? Leave a comment down below and share some inspiration. And now it's time for a quick update about my upcoming Kickstarter campaign for the Cartographer's Tome of Tumiun, a guide to the wild world. If this is the first time you're hearing about it, it's gonna be an art book and world-building compendium rolled into one, with all of my illustrations, maps, lore, and short stories compiled into one complete guidebook. I am now aiming to launch the campaign on the 24th of February 2026, so mark your calendars. And if you don't want to miss it, be sure to click the link in the description to give the campaign a follow and be notified when it goes live. I'll make sure to keep you all updated, and you can expect a dedicated video with all of the details in a couple of weeks. Before I end this video, I want to take a moment, as always, to thank all of you, especially all of my Patreon supporters and YouTube members, and those of you who have purchased prints on my webshop. But also all of you who leave such beautiful comments, motivating me to keep doing what I'm doing. I know it may start to sound a bit redundant, but I really couldn't be doing any of this without your support. Last week this channel surpassed 70,000 subscribers, and I am still having a hard time grasping how that's even possible. I remember very clearly when there were just 1,000 of you, which at the time was already more people listening to my stories than I ever thought possible. And now, 2 years later, Tumiun is slowly but surely becoming my full-time job, and I could not be more grateful. Thanks to you, my dreams are coming true. If you'd also like to support what I do, leave a comment or a like, or subscribe if you haven't already, or even become a YouTube member for just $1 a month. You can also support me on Patreon. Both will get exclusive sneak peeks of upcoming videos. And if you want to treat yourself to a gift this Christmas, consider buying a print of the Cartographer's Map of Tumiun or any of my illustrations on rigscreations.com. Oh, and don't forget to check out the Kickstarter campaign. All links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be seeing you again soon.